Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So do you think it's too much bling? Never too much bling, right? Especially this time of year. All right, so we're going to continue on and do the Tivoli Rivoli ring. So we did the earrings recently, and this is a redux of an older video. Look at that sparkle, so pretty. And I really enjoyed making these using the dragon thread. So this is sort of my sample of, trying out the dragon thread. And then I thought, well, I never did a bracelet to go with the Tivoli Rivoli earrings, so we did the bracelet. I'll link these down below if you haven't seen them yet. So how pretty is that? And then we have the Tivoli Rivoli ring, which was a previous video several years ago, and it was very confusing, and a lot of you had a lot of trouble with it. So you asked me to redo it. So here I've redone the ring, and it's, I think, much prettier and much easier to do. And also, for those of you who asked me to use beads from the Hearthside collection, that's the new Eureka Crystal Beads collection, I have used the beads from there. So I used their two Rivolis in this beautiful gold color. And they're the rondelles. There are several different rondelles you can use. There are 3 colors of Delicas. I think there's a red, a green, and a beautiful sort of apricot gold color. I used them all with these as well, in addition to other colors that I had. So if you have that collection, grab it, because, let's use the beads, huh? All right, so I'm going to clear this off, get a materials list going, and we'll get started. And when you're done watching this video, if you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button, and please remember to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you get notified when I upload a video. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, let's get a materials list going. So you need your 14mm Rivoli. 2 colors of Delicas. I'm using a metallic and then a color, and these 2 are from the Hearthside collection, as are, as I said, some of the others too. And every other color ring that I showed you, I'll link in the description box below the video. All the colors, everything. 15-0 seed bead, 11-0 seed bead. You need some 3mm bicones or rondelles. You need more than this, a few more than this, but that's all I had left in that color. You'll need some 3mm fire polished beads, size 10 beading needle. I'm using dragon thread for the bezel, and this is the 0.006 inch diameter, and I'm using Fireline for the rest of the ring. I like this for the bezel. I like the Fireline, the stiffness of it for the rest of the ring. A stop bead. Anything else? No, I think that's it. So I'm going to clear this off, and we're going to get started. Again, don't forget that everything will be listed in the description box below the video. Sizes, shapes, colors, list of all the colors, links to bead websites, links to beads when I can find, the colors that I've used, etc. So don't forget to click the down arrow on the show more. There's lots of info down there. If I forget something, I put it there. If I have a coupon code, which I have for this big mat, Ringberries mat, 10% off, and I have a coupon code for Eureka Crystal Beads that I got for you when we did the challenge. So that's 10% off your order of $25 or more. That just expires at the end of December, so you might as well use it, right? So don't forget to look down there so you get those coupon codes. Save a couple bucks. All right, so I'm going to clear this off and we'll get started. So thread your needle with about 2.5 feet of thread. Put on a stop bead around the middle. We'll use both ends. So I've picked up and dropped down to my stop bead 36 of my Delicas, and I alternated my color. So I have an emerald and then a gold, emerald, gold, emerald, gold, and so on. I'm going to sew those into a circle. I'm going to sew through the first bead after the stop bead, and now I have my circle. So I'm not going to go super slow on this because we've done it twice already. So it's a little bit different than the others. It's just a matter of adding one more row of Delicas, but we'll get to that. So I'm just going to, move along. So I'm exiting the green one. I'm going to skip the gold one, picking up a gold one. I'm going to sew through this green one. Picking up a gold one, skipping the next one, sewing through the green one. If you're alternating, you're just going to pick up a gold one, gold Delica, sew through every green or whatever color you've put on there. Makes it very easy and looks pretty. So we're just going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to step up. Coming to the end, I'm going to step up now. So I'm picking up a Delica gold one, I'm exiting the green one, I'm going to skip this gold one, and I'm going to sew through this green one, and the gold one on the diagonal. Just pull in a little bit to step up. So now we're all stepped up, and we're going to add one more round of Delicas. So that's where it's different than the earrings or the bracelet, because the ring, if you notice, it has a little dome to it. So that's how we're going to get the dome. We're going to add another round of Delicas. So now I'm Xing the gold Delica. I'm going to pick up the green. I'm going to sew through every gold Delica, just like that. So get that done, come on around, and we'll step back for a second for those of you who are more beginners. As I'm putting this round of Delicas on, I am holding my thumbnail in, or your thumb, and pulling a little bit. You see how it's starting to curve? So that, you know, sort of helps it. I'm not holding it in a death grip. I'm not pulling super tight. I'm just have my thumb in there, and as I go, I'm pulling sort of inward and outward a little bit, so this way in and slightly in, so that I'm starting to get a curve. All right, so finish that round, and then we'll step up. Okay, I'm coming down to the end, and I have a couple of beads to put on, so I'm exiting this gold one, putting on my next green one. And because it's curving, I'm holding it on my nail so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Picking up another green one. I'm going to sew through this gold one. See if I can get my needle in there. There we go. This gold one, and then the green one on the diagonal. So that's going to step me up. Giving it a pull. So this is what I have when I'm going to hold it on my finger and just give it a little pull. So here I have one round of Delicas and the green on this side, and one round, and the round of gold is on the outs on this side. So we're going to grab our 15-0s, and then we'll put on a couple of rounds of 15-0s. Okay, let's continue. So we're exiting a green Delica. I'm just going to pick up a 15-0 and sew through the next Delica, which is the green one. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Pulling inward as I go. I kind of like to hold it at this point on my with my thumb and forefinger, just giving it a little pull. Just going all the way around, sewing through each sticking out Delica, which is the green one. So get all those 15-0s on, and then we'll step up and put on another round. Okay, I'm down at the end. I'm going to step up now. So here I'm exiting this green Delica. I'm going to sew through this next green one, and then the little 15-0 on the diagonal. So of course I have a 15-0 on my needle. Place that there, and now I've stepped up. Okay, one more round of 15-0s on this side. So 15-0 in between every sticking out bead, which is that little 15-0. Just like that. So do that all the way around, and then you can step up on your own, and we'll continue from there. Okay, we're back, and so I've put on my second round of 15-0s, and I've stepped up. Now, if you want, you can put another round of 15-0s on. What I do is I just put my stone in. This is going to be my front here, and see how it looks, and I think that's fine. I don't think it needs another round, but you can put another one on. You can do a scalloped edge. You can do anything you like. I kept these simple because, you know, I think that, you know, as a set, they're really pretty simple. So now that we've stepped up, you can just sew this thread in. So I'm exiting the 15-0, just going to sew through 15-0 on the diagonal, and through a few Delicas until, you know, I feel that it's secure. So here I'll sew through, just sewing on the diagonal like that. And I'm just going to reverse direction. That kind of locks everything into place like that. And then you can actually clip this thread. So I'm just going to clip it off like that. And then when we come back, we'll start the other side. Okay, we're back. So let's take the stop bead off and thread the needle for the other side. And you will be exiting, let's see, this emerald green Delica here, or whatever color you're using. I just want to get to this outside round of Delica so we can add some more beads. I'm just going to sew through this gold one on the diagonal. And then, ouch, don't poke yourself. Just going to give it a little pull. You can put your stone in now if you like. I'm making the other side the front, so I'm going to put it in face down. This is what it looks like. All right, so here we go. Now I'm just going to add 2 rounds of 15-0s like I did on the other side. So just sewing a 15-0 in between each Delica. Okay, so this particular stone it's not a Swarovski. I'm not sure what company it is. It was just in my box and it wasn't in a bag. But I can tell already that it's slightly thicker than my Swarovski. My stone is really in there, nice and snug. So depending on, you know, what brand stone you're using, it could be slightly different. In which case, as you're adding your 15-0s and pulling in, you might have to add well, we're going to definitely do a second round of 15-0s, but you might even need a third round, depending on how thick your stone is. That makes a big difference, this part of the stone, you know, this thickness right here, you know, so that you get the Delicas and the 15-0s will go around it. So, you know, just do I'll let you just go off on your own and do both rounds. So finish your round of 15-0s, step up, do another round of 15-0s, and if you need another one, put another one on. And then meet me back here and we'll continue. Okay, we're back. So we're done with the Rivoli, and I've already gone ahead and done some of my band here. That's going to be our next step. I'm going to use this red one with contrasting green beads. Here we go. For the band, so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. When I used this one, I did a couple of clips and it was kind of hard to see. So we'll just, we'll play with this one and then we'll come back to this ring to complete it. All right. So here's your completed Rivoli, whatever color you have. And you've sewn all your threads in. We're going to work on the back now. So thread and needle. I'm using Fireline now. I like the dragon thread for the bezel, but I like Fireline if I'm going to do a lot of, you know, if I want to something to hold really well and, you know, be a little more stiff. So I'm using Fireline now. I threaded my needle with about 5 feet. It's probably a little too much, but it's going to be both sides of the band. We're going to put this thread on so that we have a thread coming out here and a thread coming out here. You can put a little less on if you want. My ring is about an 8, so I'm going to just put a little extra on. So here's my needle. I'm going to sew through that last round of Delicas, one of the Delicas on the last round of Delicas before the 15-0s on the back. So you see that? And I'm just going to stop halfway through. You can put a stop bead on there, but I'm just going to hold it with my finger right now. Okay, so here I am. I'm exiting that Delica. Now I'm going to pick up a Delica, and I'm going to sew through the next one, the next gold one in the round, using this green one just for contrast. And the first side of the band that you put on, the setup row, doesn't really matter where it goes as long as you're going through these Delicas. You're going to put 4 beads on because it's round. It's just the other side. So it doesn't matter where you start, but the other side is going to be the important side to make sure it's centered. So I'm going to put another one on. Another one. One more. Now I have 4 Delicas on. So just get to this point, and then what we're going to do is thread the other needle, and then we're going to sew through the beads till we get to the other side. Okay, we're back. So I'm just going to take this thread and this side and move it this way so I can work my way around. I'm going to work through these beads till I get to where I think the band should go on this side. And it's really going to, I prefer to do this by eye than counting because, you know, with peyote, you know, it could be just off as a bead or a millimeter. So I count and I do it by eye. So here I'm exiting this gold Delica. I'm going to sew through this the color one, whatever color yours is. Just these last two rounds are going to be the beads. I'm going to sew through them on the diagonal. They'll be the beads that I'm going to work through to get to the other side. And I'm just going to keep going until I get to where I think I might be centered on the other side. You want to come out of one of the gold ones that is closest to the 15-0, so the last round of gold ones. I'm going to do another round, another couple of beads. And when I look at this, so I'm going to put my bead here, I don't know, that's looking pretty good to me. So I'm just going to put the 4 beads on, and if it looks good, I'll continue, and I'll do a little counting too. So putting on a Delica, another one through this one, another one, one more. So when I look at that, that's looking pretty good to me. So if I do a little counting, let's say I count these gold beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 6 here. So I think that's pretty well centered. What I'm going to do at this point is just do peyote. I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to pick up a green one, just sew through this green one. Sewing through the sticking out beads. Like that. Now I'm going back down again. So I'll do this maybe for 4 or 5 rows, and then I'm going to do the other side for 4 or 5 rows. So here, just turning it on the other side. Exiting this gold one right here. Just going to pick up a bead and sew through the green one. Up and so on. And I'm going to just keep doing this until I have both sides done. And you want to look at it and see, does it look centered? You can always kind of, just give it a little, a little push here and there. But you want to just make sure that they're looking as centered as possible, and they look pretty good to me. So you're just going to do your length on either side until it fits around your finger. And because we're domed up a little bit on this ring, you'll have to add some. So don't get rid of those threads. Don't sew anything together. That's going to be our last step. So get both sides done. It's going to look sort of like this. You'll have probably a little bit longer. And then we'll come back and we'll start embellishing. Okay, so here we are. We're ready to start our embellishment. So my ends are pretty much done. Don't cut those threads off. Don't sew anything in. Just leave them. I'm going to thread a needle with about 30 inches of thread and put a stop bead on. You can leave enough of a tail to sew in. I'm going to sew through this Delica here. So this is those are my 2 color beads here. So here's this one. I'm going to sew through this one. Okay. Just place my thread on, leaving a tail, about 6 inches. And I'm going to put a Delica on in between each of the green Delicas. So here I'm exiting. Let's see if I can get myself focused a little better here. There we go. Exiting this green one, I'm going to sew through the next green one. I'm putting a gold one on in between each green one. So just doing a little stitch in the ditch, exiting this green one, I'm going to sew through the next green one, putting a gold one on. Again, to the next green bead. Just do a couple more. for the next green one. And I'm just using Delicas here. Like that. So I'm just going to do this all the way around. See how that's looking? It's coming on the edge there. So do it all the way around and then we'll continue. Okay, so I'm exiting this Delica. Oops, this Delica right here. Now I'm just going to put on a 3mm bicone through the next Delica, like that, and I'm going to alternate with an 11-0. Not a Delica, just a regular 11-0. 3mm bicone, 11-0. Just going to do that all the way around. Until I have them, all my beads on. So I'll just do that off camera and then see you at the end. Okay, we're back and we have finished the bicones and the 11-0s. So we're exiting a bicone. I'm just going to pick up a 3mm fire polish and sew through the next bicone. Like that. And I just want that fire polish to, I'm going to push it down there with my finger. So see how I'm pushing it down, whereas if I pull this way it sits up. I'm just going to push it down. We're going to put another round on of 11-0s after this. So it's going to tighten everything up. But just make sure that they're sort of lower. See how they're down on the sides here? So just do that all the way around between each bicone and then meet me back here and we'll continue. Okay, time to add the last fire polish bead. So here, exiting the bicone, just going to sew through this bicone. And then that very first fire polish that I put on. And if you notice, my band is sewn together. And the reason that I did that is because I wanted to redo a clip, this one actually, and the band was already on, so I didn't want to take it apart. So your band will be in two pieces, you know, attached at either end. All right, so now we're just going to pick up two 11-0s. I'm going to sew through every fire polish bead. And I'm going to pull downward. You see how it pulls it down and it pulls it together? So each time you add your two 11-0s, you're going to give it a little pull downward, and that's going to bring all the beads together. So just do that all the way around. And then when you're done with that, reinforce by going around all the beads again, and then tie some half hitch knots in, and then we'll sew the band together. Okay, we're back and we're ready to sew this band together and be done, right? So here I've sewn one end, you know, I had two threads. I just sewed one in because it was, you know, you don't need two. I'm just going to use the one. You want to make sure you're in zipping sequence. So you want to make sure when you put the two ends together that they fit together like a zipper. See that? Just like that. Okay, so we've got the thread is, mine is coming out of my indented bead, then the bead on the other side, it's hard to hold this, is the bead that is sticking out. Let's see if I can do it this way. Here we go. So that I'm going to zip it up like so. So here I'm exiting here, right there, just going to sew through this one on the other side. Once you get that done, it's easy from there. So here I'll leave it open. So exiting this one, just going to sew through the sticking out bead on the other side, right here. Like that. And then I'm going to go back, exiting the bead right there. I'm going to go back to this side and sew through this one. So I'm going back and forth, see that? And then I'm going to go through this one. Now you tighten yours. I just want you to see the thread path. That's what the thread path looks like. And I'm going to go back to this sticking out bead. So So I'm going to pull it tight now. See, so what happens when I pull it tight? I'm zipping together. You can't even see where the end is. I'm going to sew through this one. And this one. Through this one. Something so satisfying. That's sewing, zipping peyote. Then down this one and one on the diagonal. So I want to sew these two together. So this one and that one on the diagonal. And then you just want to sew through your band, reverse direction. You know, sew on the diagonal, reverse direction, sew a little bit more until it's nice and secure. So get that done and then come back and we'll finish up. Okay, we're back and we're done. So how cool is that? Big fun statement ring. What if you just took it and just put the band on and didn't do the embellishment? Then you have a, you know, a smaller ring that, you know, if you're more, you know, if you don't like the big statement ring. But here you go. Here's our ring. That was so much fun. And the band came out pretty well centered, so that's good. So I really enjoyed making this. This has been so much fun working with the Tivoli Rivoli design again. We still have a necklace coming, so we're going to have the entire set. We haven't done an entire set for a long time, so that'll be fun. I love this for the holidays. I love this in jewel tone colors, and what about birthstone colors for the person that you in your life that you want to get a gift for. All right, here you go. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.